A very warm welcome to Value 40 Plus Path to Success series. I am your host, Lakshmi Rama, and if you are listening to this, chances are you are facing one of the most challenging narratives in today's professional world. The statistics are sobering. Professionals over 40, particularly in IT and fast evolving industries, are experiencing unprecedented job insecurity. But what those statistics don't capture is the wisdom, experience, and the strategic advantage that comes with when you cross 40 plus. The good milestones, I would call. As Maya Angelou said, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Today, we are going to flip the script entirely. Instead of focusing the challenge, we are spotlighting three remarkable individuals who prove that your most valuable years can begin after 40. Each has chosen a different path: the corporate mastery, the entrepreneurial leap, and a passion driven reinvention. So, let me have the honor of introducing our distinguished panel. First, let me introduce Mr. Brian Putt, a UK based CXO turned entrepreneur with deep expertise in IT world. Brian represents the entrepreneurial path, the courage to bet on yourself when conventional wisdom says play it safe. Hi Brian, warm welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to join the panel today. I appreciate it.
Give us a quick intro about you, Brian.
Me, if I go back to when, a very quick intro, when I was 16, my high school exams were a complete disaster. Okay, so not a good conversation with my parents on that day. 1 year later, I retook them and I failed again. So again, it was an even worse conversation. At that point, I had to go out at 17 to get work. Managed to find a job in an office making teas and coffees, filing papers, and it kind of progressed from there. Now, there's a phrase, I'll come to that in a moment, but there's a phrase I'll bring up shortly, which will kind of string all this together. But only a phrase that I realized or heard a few months ago. But basically, my journey went from making teas and coffees and feeling undervalued, feeling I can do better than this, to going to night school, getting my education done properly, you know, getting a job at Lloyd's Bank, and then being in the real safe corporate world, job for life. Some scary moments around buying my first apartment, thinking, my gosh, how much money have I just borrowed? Will I ever be able to pay this back? Through to landing in India back in 2009 after a quick conversation with my boss saying, we need someone there, we need you, are you able to go? And I took that opportunity. I felt at the time, why can't it be New York? Because that's where the glitz and the glamour was. But I'm so grateful it was India because the richness that it gave me in terms of, my career leap was fantastic. Roll on a few years, I did my stint there, but I felt still that I had more to offer. And so I left Lloyd's and went to work in the Philippines. So again, I took a chance. I had no job to go to. I just upped and went, settled in the Philippines for a while, found work, and loved it for a period, again in the corporate world, working in the BPO industry. Um, and then came a kind of a tipping point around, enough was enough, career wasn't going. And that's where I thought I need to bet on myself now. And since then, I've been in various contracts. I've built it's not a big business, but I have a small insurance business, which I run, as well as, my consultancy business. But my passion and value is around people. I love the interaction with people and I love the excitement of challenge, getting things done quickly, fixing problems. If there's not much to do, I'm bored. If there's a lot to do, I'm your man. Get me in there. I'll fix things quickly, and we'll roll on. Um, and this is a period where I also, from a family perspective, we had our first child in 2023. So I took a big leap 3 years ago to move away from a corporate fixed job um, into being more entrepreneurial in terms of my outlooks. So lots of challenges, lots of risks, but so far paying off, and still a huge amount to do.
Wow, that's quite a journey. Look forward to hear more from you, Brian. Stay put. Let me introduce our second panelist, Ram Murli, uh, the senior middle management from top MNC IT company, who has masterfully navigated corporate structure to reach his level where he is today. Ram, with his strategic corporate growth, proving you can thrive within the existing system successfully. Warm welcome, Ram. Give us your introduction and a lot of secrets which we will unveil as we go along in this journey. Your introduction.
Thank you very much, Vijay, for this opportunity. My name is Ram, and I come from a very small village in the southernmost part of India. I'm the only son from a poor background, and even my parents couldn't educate me back then when I was a child. So I grew up with among the relatives. So, like this, I was sent to one of the boarding schools which prepares for the Indian Defense Forces. It's called Sainik School, and it's a boarding school fully for the military. So from childhood, I grew up with a passion to become a pilot, and then I got selected also. And then everything is done. The process requires a signature from the parents. They refused, saying that no, no, you are the only son. You cannot go to armed forces. It was during a conflict period with one of our neighbors. So the situation was not good. So all the dreams shattered. So I had to restart back. And then I entered into the corporate world. So not much of a money, not a lot of chance. You are the sole earning member back there. So that was the situation that I entered in. I did have a lot of dreams to become an entrepreneur or try out various things, but then there isn't a lot of options left when you are forced to earn, when you're forced to rebuild from the bottom up. And that took me to IT. IT was a booming part, luckily, right place at the right time, probably. So it was a booming industry in India. And that's how I entered into this IT industry. And from then, the only thing that I know is yes, you have to succeed, right? Today, think about it, 9 out of 10 college graduates, the one and only option they have is to serve in some corporate organization. It can be MNCs, it can be IT, or any industry for that matter. Though we all love to be entrepreneurs, we can't be. There is a limitation that certain people can be successful, others need to play within the safe boundary. So for me, that was a constraint, and I took this. So today, to talk about Vijay, I'm a strategic transformation lead for my organization, probably in the top 1% of my company. I'm not naming it because I don't formally represent that company here today. And I've been a consistent top performer throughout my career. So I've been a gold certified mentor, a certified career coach, certified life coach. You name anything, I've cracked it today. And at least I'm blessed to be in a place where I have been successful. I understand what does it mean to become successful in a corporate side, and I'm here to share whatever I can today with all of you. Thanks for this.
Con- Congratulations on all your success, Ram. We are all here to learn more from you and from our viewers. Very warm welcome again. Last but not the least, I reserve the best, the most charming person of the panelists, my beloved lady, Miss Sinduri, and she has lot to offer beyond all the other two gentlemen spoke. So, warm welcome, Sinduri. I want I cannot give justice if I say about your profile. So I wanted the charming profile to be told by you, but only one introduction to you. The leading singer, the award-winning singer with us, What a honor to be hearing from you, Sindhuri. Your introduction, please.
Thank you so much, Vijay, for having me. Um, I remember, back then, I did work in the corporate, but to give a little bit of background, from when I was a child, I started learning music from the age of 5. I always had an inclination towards music, and uh, I don't know, as even as a kid, I was like, I think music is something that I want to pursue, but then life happens. So then I did my human resource management in Chennai. And I joined a corporate company, and I worked in the corporate company for 5 years as an HR. Um, and that's where I met such amazing people like you. And today, after 5 years of working there, in 2017, I decided that it's time that I pursue my passion and make it my career too. So I moved into doing music full time, and right now I'm a playback singer in the Indian film industry. Uh, I sing in various languages, and so that's how my journey towards from corporate to passion to what I want to do with my passion, started. And it's been a uh, roller coaster ride, I would say, from 2017 till now, because because media is a career where it's very challenging, because you have to somehow place yourself in the right places, and you have to be a go-getter. So that's what I have to say about myself. And I think with more questions you would understand how my journey has been. So thank you so much for
Wow.
having me today in this podcast.
Wow, Sundari. I loved among all the things the go-getter. That's the mantra for today. Once Peter Drucker said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So today we are going to learn how each of our guests created their future. Let's deep dive in. So let me have the privilege of asking the first question to Brian. Brian, you had what many considered as the golden ticket, a successful corporate IT career with global reach, prestige, security, nice travel, the comfort of staying wherever you want, and a lot of people to support and take care of you, say, sir, and this and that. What was that breaking point that made you to think, I need to bet on myself instead of all this corporate luxury?
Yeah, great question. And you're right. I did have a golden ticket. Um, and the travel was very nice, and it still spoils me today when we travel as a family. And the breaking point for me was, and I won't name the company because I'm not representing them today. And they're a great company, gave me great opportunity, and I spent 7 years with them. Um, and I don't want to use COVID as the excuse. COVID was the opportunity. So during COVID in the Philippines, the lockdown was very tight. Um, and myself and my wife took an opportunity to travel back to the UK, and everything was fine. So in 2022, we spent almost 18 months in the UK. Um, the office was still kind of work from home, just starting to move back into the hybrid environment in the Philippines. And I was asked to go back. And my question was, why? What am I going back for? And I'd had the sparks of, things that they were looking at to place me into a different position, which would have been fabulous. But the budgets weren't there. It wasn't going to happen. Um, and my real question around what's in it for me, I might just carry on doing the same thing. Why do I need to go back? I didn't see the future that I wanted. And the future that I wanted was, to improve. I like to raise the bar. And I know those are phrases which people use, but reality is you have to walk the talk. And, I actually I resigned from that company, and a day later I was offered a contract with a UK up and coming fintech bank, and that was an explosion of we need a lot of work done, just everything that really kind of resonates with my persona. At the previous company, I had just for quite a period had been the top had the top scorecard globally of anyone, and I was looking after 100,000 people in terms of IT security and risk, and BCP. So it was vibrant, but it wasn't. It was bread and butter stuff. It wasn't challenging me. So I took that opportunity to resign, uh, took a job elsewhere, and at the same time we became pregnant as well. So all of those kind of risk factors came in. And if I sat back and, looked at the risk factors and said, should I do this or not? You know, I'd had a job, I was asked to go back. I could have got on the plane, gone back, and things would be what they would be. But instead, I decided, no, I need to do better, want to do better, can do better, and I am doing better. And that's always in the back of my mind. Um, that feeling of being controlled or your destiny is down to others. Um, I'd had enough of that. I wanted to control my own, be my own person, and also have a bit of a lifestyle that's a little bit different to the corporate world. Rather than taking my 2-week vacation, be able to say, I'm going to take a few months out, and not worry about it and actually do the things that we want to do. Um, but the phrase I wanted to kind of pop into everyone's mind was, and I only heard this a few months ago, and it resonates because goes all the way back to when I was 16 and I failed my first exams. Yeah, and I didn't realize this
Mm.
then. And it was, the phrase is, the life you want is the other side of the work you're avoiding. So
Very true.
I can tell you at 16, I wanted those exams to be successful. I wanted to go to university. I wanted to get a high paying job, fly the world, and do all those things. But I wasn't doing the work for it.
Mm.
I had to then go to, if I look back now, at 18, I went to night school. I really enjoyed it actually. I'd do my day's job, making teas and coffees, which I hated at the time. But ask me to make a tea and coffee now in the office, absolutely no problem at all. I love it. Um, but at that time, I felt it was demeaning because I felt I was better than that. Um, and it wasn't to prove to anyone else, it was to prove to myself when looking back that I am better than that. And there are periods of slowness, but if I keep coming back to this phrase, the life I want is the other side of the work I'm avoiding. Um, every time I look at something now, I think, yes, that is exactly now I need to step up and make it happen. So that's kind of where I feel, you know, that the pinnacle moment in 2022, did it again 18 months ago with another contract. I'm now looking at another business to generate over the next few months with hopefully a business partner, a good friend of mine, and we're honing in on what we need, what we think we can do really, really well. Um, but yeah, getting on and doing it, writing the business plan, setting up the business, the actions, delivering, all those things, when you do them, suddenly the life you want, you're now leading.
Very true, Priya. Very true. You touched upon the tip of the iceberg of the challenge, what we are speaking. And there is a lot more you have gone through in this process. We love to hear from that. So I'm going to have the question to others too and come back and deep dive little more about what went behind the screen. You put it very nicely. And you also referred back. connecting your childhood experiences.
Mm.
And being the neuroscientist myself, I could tell you what we are after 40 and our success has a lot more connections of how we are attached with our childhood experiences. So I'm going to deep dive on that more as we go along in this.
Yeah,
So stay put with me, Brian. So
would have.
Ram, question to you. Thank you, Brian, for the wonderful explanation. Now, Ram, to you. As Brian made it, right? He sounded very exciting, and anybody would really love to jump onto that path. But you chose to stay and grow within the corporate structure, especially within the same company. And what gave you this conviction that, yes, my path is right and it would take me to the success?
Great question, Vijay. In fact, to think about it, probably my modest backgrounds, originally in the early years to start with, there are two paths, right? Many of us choose the path of doing what you like. And when that was not an option for all of us, right? Some of us have constraints that we have to live by. The only other better way to live is liking what you do. That's a wiser thing to do. So that is the path first initially where I set myself. And I'm completely with you that there are ups and downs. Life is not always green, always rosy. Sometimes you feel so frustrated. Why am I here? What am I doing? But that's part of life. That's part of living. So one thing that helped me go is the family support, the support system that I have. In fact, one that my mom told me is, see, in a race, you can look at other participants and say that, will I win? And feel demotivated looking all the around. You can also look at yourself and say, there will definitely be one winner, and why not me? Right? So it is
Mhm.
just about how you see things. So that is the perspective that I first set myself in, saying that somebody will win and I can be that somebody. It's just going to be one human to do. So I will do whatever it takes to be there. So that goal, that focus, that determination, and cutting out any distractions that come along the way, that was the first part of the story. The second part of the story comes when you start seeing some initial success, right? And all thanks to that, to great mentors like Narsi, like you, there were mentors along the way who showed me the path, who showed me what to do. So I would never have done it all by myself without the help of great mentors that I have encountered. So I'm blessed that I got the right guidance, right advice from the mentors, and that put me on the right track. And perseverance, patience did the rest to me. And today I see, as I turn back, that it has been very different experience journey, but I'm highly successful. I have achieved all that I wanted to achieve when I set out, and that is fulfilling today to see. I'm able to guide others and be a role model for hundreds, if not thousands, of people in my organization today. So that's
Amazing.
fulfilling.
Amazing. There are a couple of things which you made it very strongly, which I would like to reiterate to the viewers again. You have not compared. You are very focused that I want this and I will go after it. And no matter what others are talking or not. So that clarity, that focus, and also that simple, I am achieving this. Okay, then what is my next? Rather than everybody has great goals, but if we don't break it down and look at the immediate results, what you achieved, and celebrate it and encourage yourself, you are bound to have lot many disappointments. And that's where the, I would call, the defocus comes in the big picture of the goal. So wonderful, Ram. Thank you. It's not as simple as what you put. There is a lot more to it, which we would deep dive as we move along. And great response. Now come to Sundari. Sundari, you have been, in the IT world, and IT world is so fascinating, right? And there are a lot of opportunities within the IT industry also where they, say you could display your passion, and you being in the HR, I don't have to tell you much. But leaving that stable IT to pursue singing is something many dream about. Like everybody has their own passion, but only very few do it. What was that moment you decided to stop dreaming and start doing?
Um, so I wouldn't say it was a single moment, or it was like it was a, it was over a period of time, because from when I was young, I pictured myself to be a musician. Um, and of course, like we, there are a lot of pressure, like parents want us to study a particular, go in a particular direction. So all of that happened in the process. But somewhere, I felt, I realized that I was spending 95% of my time securing a life I thought I should want, but only 5% of the time I felt truly alive. Like it was I wouldn't say, of course, I learned so much in the corporate world. Like even now, all of that helps me in different ways. But is that what I really want for myself in life? That was a question that kept running in my head all throughout. Um, and nothing comes without sacrifices. Like if you want something, you need to sacrifice something. So yeah, it's okay if I don't have, like, if I look at my age group of people, yeah, they have fancy houses, they have fancy cars, they have a lot of other things, but does that give me happiness? Truly, no, it really does not. So as much as I saw the other side of life as well, somewhere I thought that okay, I should pursue my passion. Otherwise, the regret is going to be there when I probably die. So the then I thought the fear of failure is temporary, but the regret of never trying to live your purpose is will be like a life sentence for me. So there was this event that happened when I was working in the corporate, where I had to bring in my fellow singers from the music circle and all of that. And since I grew up in Chennai, I grew up amongst a lot of musicians, so I was still in touch with them. Like in the morning, I mean, I was in office from morning till night, and in the night when I went back, it was like I was leading two lives. I used to go back, and then we used to sit and jam together, and I used to go to their studio. We used to like sit and make some music. So I was always, there was like a, okay, I have to take a decision at some point of time in life. So when this event happened, that's I got to sing along with one of the leading musicians in the film industry. And when I actually sang on that stage, I felt that so many of the audiences were also connecting to what I was singing. And there was I was like, okay, I really think this is meant for me, and I have to do it. And I took one fine day, I was like, okay, let me take the leap of faith and do this. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to do it. It's okay if I fail, but at least I tried. So that is how my shift from corporate to a playback singer happened.
Wow, what a true inspirational story. And I don't know how many of you know, she has such a huge follower, 50,000 plus followers, I think, Sinduri. I don't know whether it has crossed now, but the last I checked. And the one which I take it personally is, it is not about failure. It is about, if I don't try it, I am a, dead person in a living form. I really love that. That is very true. You need to live your day, every day lively. That is going to be the mantra for many who, like, morning I go, I come back again, I live here like, in the rat race without realizing what truly I want or what make me happy. And I can't even smile at my own family members truthfully because of a pressure always at my back running. It's a very different life, what Sindhuri you highlighted. With that, I'm going to transition to Brian. Brian, connecting all the people's introductory questions, I'm going to go little deeper
Yeah.
and looking for your deeper reflections. Brian, if you see, what there are different skills we acquire in our corporate life, and truly so for you with such a global experience. So, what are those secret weapons that you had from corporate world that helped you in your entrepreneur journey? And what are those which you have to unlearn, otherwise you would have hit, or you badly hit and then you learn that I had to drop it?
Yes.
Little secret of yours, please.
Okay, I'll give you a few secrets. I think there are many things in the corporate world that I have learned. The big one that stands out for me is, back to when I was 16, I was quite, I would say, timid and shy. Um, I felt that I could, converse very well with people. I wanted to. Um, and I remember going to a board meeting, um, my first one ever when I was in my early 20s in the bank. And I was outside the office waiting to go in, very, very nervous. And I had to go and present some new products that we were looking to sell. And I heard them laughing inside. And that actually gave me comfort because I knew that they were human. So when I went in, it gave me the confidence and the energy to talk, and we did very, very well. Um, and so when I look at that, and the follow up is important. So the key skills for me is around, my stakeholder management, um, building rapport. They are kind of everyday things. Um, but unless you try it, unless you do it, it becomes very, very challenging otherwise. And I've been in, you know, I find it difficult to cold call a customer because I don't know them.
Mm.
If I know them, it's easy for me to do that because I can talk. I'm confident with it. Um, but in business, I find it easier now to reach out to someone I don't know in the corporate world to have a conversation than I did making a phone call to someone um, who I didn't know. And I think for me, the stakeholder management comes with not just being able to have a nice conversation and to get on with someone, but it's to really understand what they're looking for and delivering on it. And a few little feedbacks I've had over the years is around, give Brian an action and he'll deliver on it.
Mm.
And I think that's the key thing from all the things that we need to do to get on in life. So that corporate world of stakeholder management, and I can go into the corporate world or not today, and I can, you know, connect people across a corporate organization with the goals that we need to do and the action we need to get going and to make things happen. Because I can go to each one of them, understand their challenges, um, and to really kind of um, enhance that relationship. And I get a very quick point on when I was dealing direct with customers in my first few months. I was sent the most difficult, awkward customers that company had that I worked for at that point. All of them, I promise, I turned around. And to this day, I now seek out in the corporate world the most awkward people in the corporate world because I think they're there, they have a place, they have a value to add, they may be coming across frustrated with things. Um, and for one corporate company I work for on a contract, yeah, I realized this guy had all the connections, but he was the most difficult person. I got on with him like a house on fire. It was brilliant. He got what he needed. I got more than what I was looking for, and we achieved the goal. So I think, being able to manage relationships, build them very quickly, deliver on your promises and expectations, and where you can exceed on them, just fuels the energy and the engagement, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Um, the things which I try and avoid is the seeking permission. So in the corporate world, you really have to get everything signed off. And that's governance, which I love governance, but I do like governance that actually works properly for business. That their people are empowered to do things. So yeah, in my world now, I don't need to seek permission. I can just get on with things, and away we go. And if I made a mistake, then I learn from it, and it's being able to do that.
Wow, amazing. If I kind of summarize what you said, Brian, which is also resonates with the title of this whole series, you established your brand, and when you moved on to your entrepreneur journey, you very well latched on to that brand. Like, give it to
Yeah,
Brian, he will get it. And
yeah,
I call in my language, in the neuroscience world, the value. So you have your value of people trust you, you
yeah,
deliver it. That's your value
correct,
system. And
correct.
those who understand their value and they bring and they kind of use that as their core service, they are assured to give. If I quote, you also talked about, about that unlearning. You don't seek permission, and once you took whatever the decision, you make it work. I like to quote Mr. Late Tata's word. He said once after a very, critics about he buying the chorus steel. Somebody asked, was that the right decision? He mentioned saying, I don't know whether it, no, I don't know whether I make correct decision, but whatever the decision I make it correct. I think
Yeah.
you very well resonate with that. Thank you for sharing that truthful insights about how you are making your successful journey, Brian. I move to Ram. Ram, it's going to be exactly the opposite of what we are going to experience now with you. So be truthful as much as possible. We all come from bit of corporate, and those who are our viewers also know about it. Corporate environment is always challenging. It has a lot of this office politics, which is rightly so exist, right? Like in a forest, you get to have good trees as well as thorn trees. So office politics, good or bad, then continuous restructuring, because that's how the company's growth happens, and then the constant pressure to prove yourself. How do you navigate while you are maintaining your integrity and focus you spoke about, and you are the top consistent rank holder? How do you maintain this? How did you navigate through this difficult maze of corporate, or we call that no standard rat race, and manage to be on the top?
Thanks, Vijay, for that. Again, another great question. Okay, see, first point, the way I see this politics that you mentioned, it is true, it is ugly, but at the same time, it is everywhere. I don't see any place where you don't have a politics, even in family, in a larger extended families.
Correct.
There are always people in anywhere where you have a group of humans together, there'll be somebody playing an invisible politics. That's the nature of the humans as a whole, wherever we are, whatever industry that we do. So, one is understand that yes, it is something that you cannot fight and win against, but how to use it as your tool to adapt and succeed through that. That is one where I try to focus on. Related to this, I got advice from my mentor that it's called famously the serenity prayer from Stoicism. God give me the wisdom to understand the difference between what I can change versus what I cannot change. The courage to only change what I can change, and the willingness to accept what cannot be changed. So that is something that I continuously practice in terms of differentiating between where to focus your energy and where not to. There will be distractors, there will be naysayers, there will be people biting behind you. That is always there. But if you choose to give your energy to them, that grows on you and that makes you much worse. So sometimes ignoring the bad is much better for your inner peace, for your mental peace. That is one that I have learned. Second part is from, like, if you want to sail, you have to use the wind favorably to you. And for that, again, there are certain things that are in your control that you can do. For example, you talked about corporate. Now, I work in a very large organization where all of us don't do the same work, don't do the same role, same responsibilities. There's a wide variety from HR to talent development to admin to coders to managers to coaches. There's a wide variety that is available in many industries, not only IT, any industry you go, there's a breadth of roles available. So, what is really important is to understand your strengths, your passion, and align yourself to one of the roles that resonate better with you. So, thankfully, luckily, I got into coaching as a role, and that aligned with my passion of helping people, giving value back to others. And it was like what we call in Ikigai as a sweet spot of an intersection between your strengths, your passion, and something that the world also wants from you. So when you meet at that point, then your victory is unstoppable. So that is something that I have learned. And along with this, I think even a good level of networking, personal visibility, branding. There are a number of things that we talk about in a corporate world to survive. But in a nutshell, this is what kept me going, saying that there will always be people who will be jealous, who will talk bad, whose whose very purpose is to spread negativity. But the more you ignore and the more you continue to focus on what is your vision, your path, your goals, I think success is not that difficult. Is how I see it.
Wow, what a pearls of wisdom for a lot of corporate people who are struggling every day and complaining about it. If I could abstract what you meant, right? Seeing fairness than playing the dumb victim role is much wiser. And again, you brought the value alignment. Your value alignment is I'm strong with this, I'm very clear about it, and I don't have to worry about what other roles and what the fanciness, what perk it gives. This is my strength, I will play along with that. That's clarity and understanding of who you are would surely help to play safe and successful in corporate. Thank you for it, Ram. It also brings one more point. My mentor Jim Rohn said once, when it is raining, don't ask God for, stop the rain. Rather ask for umbrella to, you know, protect me from the rain. So that is very, very important. One of the value raising aspect, which we will be continuously focusing throughout the conversation, is how people can increase the value rather than complaining and comparing with others. Thank you so much for that truthful, honest response, Ram. Thank you. Sundari, both have said, something from reference, but yours is no reference. So I'm going to ask something very deep, mental, debatable point. Okay, you recently, had your award recognition, and congratulations for being such young and got recognized in Dubai. So I'm surely going to show our audience your pictures and other things, how that event. Your recent award recognition must be, overly emotionally connecting with you, but behind the that room there is something else went right. Before your recognition, you have to maintain that belief from the start till you reached some kind of validation like that, right? It's not an easy. And Brian and Ram had some kind of reference because they were used with that. But you have suddenly jumped into the field you have never been. There are a lot of competitions, and there are a lot of, the technology has come. What is that belief you had made you to come, and today you are a successful, recognized award winner in the industry?
Great question. So, see, for me, I take it by the day. It's like, of course, I do have plans for myself, but um, not everything goes as per plan. So I actually take it day by day. And for me, uh, the term success is basically it's showing up every day, like doing things on a consistent basis. And for example, to me, finish learn a new song, new finish a new song, attempt to do something in what I decided to shift my path to. And having a discipline, for me it's like, okay, if I get a gig, that is a big success for me. So success, the term success is very, very relative for each one. So the struggles, of course, like in the middle I did lose my voice because I got vocal nodules. So it's like how a sportsman can get an injury, and so all of that has happened. But there were times when I felt like, can I actually do this? Because if I lose my voice, what am I going to do? But I feel mentally we are very strong, actually speaking. So if you channel a lot of things in the right way, and like also what Ram mentioned, there will be so many people who will have a lot of negativity. But when you channel your energy towards positivity, I am sure you can like do you can like achieve anything. So this award, of course, it's a very, very prestigious award. Not many people are able to achieve this award. But it is not just for the song. I think it's also for the all the hard work and effort that I've been putting in from when I was young, and just keep doing it consistently. uh, the discipline and consistency is what I think has gotten me where I am today. And I still have a long way to go, and learning every day, something or the other. Learning never stops. So these are the things that I feel have kept me going, and of course, with a lot of struggles, just having a strong mental makeup to get what I want. Yes.
Wow. What, I mean, the way you express shows how much you went through. And one key thing, what you said, right? Live in the present. I remember this saying, the magic is in the now moment. So take each day, and like this atomic habit says, no, build small small things every single day. And I completely resonate with you about when you had the trouble with the voice. Glad that you could come across. Being a runner myself, I could say I recently met with an accident. It's not recent, like almost 10 months now. I couldn't move my feet, and I had two important marathons. I never missed my Chennai marathon after I started running. And I signed up first time for Mumbai marathon, wanted to run the Tata Mumbai marathon, but I just couldn't. It was so painful deep inside. Afterwards, the key thing is when you come back, I'm sure Sundari, you would resonate. When you come back after that, the doctor says everything okay, now you start. That is the moment of test for you. You would find it so like level zero you are starting. You would say, what am I doing? Why is this so hard? My earlier corporate world would have been much easier. I'm sure you would have thought about it also, Siddhari. I could have just gone back at this. But our passion, as you rightly said, show up every day. It just doesn't matter. But I moved one step forward. Very, very strong emotions, Sundari. Thank you so much for it. Brian, I'm going to take, the lead from what Sundari said. You kept talking about risk, and, that is the foundation of all our human life. Looking back, if you wanted to tell, if at all you would have continued with your corporate world, and if you wanted to tell that corporate self, what would have been the definition you would tell to that corporate self about security and risk? Because they both are actually, the two sides of the same coin, but people see it opposite.
Yeah, and risk is actually part of my DNA as well. So I've, my background, I've done a lot of corporate risk in banking, in outsourcing. And it's something which, when I look at, risk assessing an opportunity within a business, I would ask the four key questions. What can go wrong? How are we in control? What do we need to do about it to improve? And how do we monitor and maintain? And yeah, it's a very structured approach to it. The one thing that's not in that structured approach is emotion. So when you look at yourself and you look at the risk of leaving the perceived, I think it's a perceived secure world of the corporate life, a lot of emotion comes into it. You know, you can ask yourself, what can go wrong? Well, if I don't earn any money, I may have some challenges paying my bills, but there's other things that you can do to make sure you cover your bills. You can do some temporary work. It's overcoming, you know, those emotions. And I'll be very honest, there's many times in my corporate life where I thought, you know, I can do better. I'm sure I can do better outside, but I've never taken that step. I know many, many people who have recently retired from the corporate world and they've done 40 years there, which is spectacular. But they've never stepped outside of it. And I think you have to look at it without the emotion, and look at the practicalities of, you know, my secure corporate world. I think it is a perceived security because you don't
Mm.
know from week to week what's happening in the financials, what's happening in the strategies. You know, if that company loses a big client, how does that impact? And you're gone. You know, there's no
Very
emotion in terms of those decisions. These are corporate decisions, and you're gone. Um, and if you are in that position, and I have been, it's not about um, being upset about it. It's about get it. I'm moving forward. I'm gonna do, you know, so much better. And I think it, you know, from a risk perspective, understand the risks you're taking, go in with your eyes open, but really give a structure around how you're going to control those things, how you're going to control your emotions, how you're going to have that confidence to make that leap and go for it. And a lot of it for me does come back to, you know, some really good planning, execution, getting on with it, not procrastinating, because that emotional fear of am I going to fail? You may fail at it, learn fast. Yeah. You have
mm,
to learn really quickly after a failure and don't repeat it, and move forward. So
very
those are kind of things. Yeah. Remove the emotion, and don't worry about it. I think probably I would have gone 15 years ago into the entrepreneurial world, maybe even before then, if I had understood the life that I want is the other side of the work that I'm avoiding, back to that initial phrase, and being able to remove the emotion and the fears and to get on with it.
Very well said, Brian. There is a saying in the sales world, I'm sure you are aware of it. People first buy the emotion, what the product is telling, before even buying the product.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with us.
yeah.
And we are also a copycat in some form.
Mm,
So this influence, what you said, is very true, especially the financial stability.
mm,
Your decisions would be killed by that emotion attached with the financial stability. And glad to hear from you that you got it right with the way you assessed, detaching the emotion and used the logical brain. Great, great. Thank you so much for giving that wonderful insight. Many are struggling today because of that. I have been, in fact, I met with one of the very young um, IT professional, and this person is struggling, and person has a very good passion of photography and
mm,
thinking whether to jump or not. The reason the person was quoting is I have this EMI to do, that commitment to do, but failing to understand that he's internally dying every day because he's not following the value he's enriching and the passion which is going to kill him one way or other. Very true. Thank you, Brian. I
thank you.
I moved to Ram. Ram, you talked, you heard about Brian, and you are a very steady person by the way you responded, right? So, not all are like that. So, for listeners who feel delusion about, this corporate life, but not ready to leave, how can they reignite the passion and find growth opportunities within the company? Since you are a coach also, I'm sure many times people would have come The person I just mentioned also would have been there in your coach section, right? One way or other.
Yes.
What is that you, based on your steady, focused success, you could advise?
See, one first thing, the realization is growth is never a continuous straight line. All of us, no matter what career we are, what path we pick, there will be ups and downs in life. So, first is that understanding and acceptance that it is part of it. Number one. So, just because you face a temporary setback, that does not mean the end of the road. That does not mean a dead end for you to sit and become a victim or think that nothing is in my hands. So that is something that I find a lot of people get into, that despair, get into a helplessness on facing a smaller setback without realizing your potential, your power, and your ability to turn things around. Sometimes storms do come. Even now, IT is in a big storm at the moment, a sort of perfect storm. But the understanding that this too shall pass, and there will be another day, another new start, that hope, that trust is very important for your inner peace. That is the first thing that I would say anyone is, trust yourself. One. Second, the way I see a career or a life, it is very long. A lot of us think only very short term. One small failure immediately breaks people down. One success takes you over the moon, like I've conquered everything. So somewhere we miss that it's an ultra marathon. So somebody may be ahead of you today, you may be ahead one day. So that sort of comparison, right? Benchmarking always yourself with someone else will destroy your peace for sure. So we all have our journey, we have our goals, our targets, our milestones, and sometimes things take longer time. It's God's design. If you trust in the God, or if you say in nature, it's probability, however you take. But somewhere there has to be an acceptance that attempt is my responsibility, result is not. Result is beyond me. So that acceptance is also needed. Whether you follow Gita, whether you follow any other book for that matter, somewhere you may need to have that acceptance that results are outside my control. That's one. Third, if I see any successful person, whether it is sports, whether it is career, outside, they all say one thing, including Sindhuri spoke about it, you just spoke about it. The process is really important. So it is not about the person, right? When you know this works, even when you are not well, you may temporarily rest, but you have to come back into the process. Because only by doing things repeatedly, even if it is one step at a time, one small improvement at a time, but that continuous one at a time, that atomic habits beautifully talks about, that is the real magic of success. Otherwise, we are going to break down. You'll go very fast and like a share price come crashing down. That is not going to be sustainable at all to anyone. So my view of that is like, take small goals, achieve each goal one at a time. Some goals may take longer, just relax. That when it happens, everything will happen at the right moment to you, right? So the secret, that book is also something that I really love. That what you truly desire, it manifests. So have that patience, go through, and this is something that I have been following, and it has worked beautifully for me till now. So disillusionment is absolutely okay. There were many days when I sort of almost came back home saying that I want to quit, I want to start, I want to do something else completely. And then my family is a support system that would calm me down, saying that look, frustrations are okay, it's part of life. When things don't work, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to be mad, but pick up yourself and then restart yourself next day and then go back trying. So that mentorship, that family, that is the magic that has kept me going so far. And I'm sure for all of them, I would say just one thing: trust the process, follow the process, it works.
Wow, very, very well put it. Especially two things which I would call out again. The process part, right? And detach from the results.
Yes.
Like every religion talk about it, every spiritual book or coaches talk about it. You just do your part time and again, time and again, time and again. And there are days which will go up, there are days which will go down, and all the people who play in stock market will know about it. There are no straight lines. If it is straight line, it is dead, or there is no up. there has to be a down. So I call, if I resonate with this, Ram, in marathon, they call something called God space run. That the last 1/3, or for some people 1/4, is, it's not about your mental, it's not about your physical, it is something else will take you. You just have to surrender and do. I would call after 40 plus in any corporate life is a God space. Trust it. Just do what you are believing yourself. Do it time and again, time and again. It takes us. Beautifully put, Ram. Thank you. Thank you for that very strong insight. The way you said it, it just connects. Thank you. Sunduri, we heard about it. It's quite a different contrast, sorry. So for someone with, very creative passion, burning inside, but feeling like I'm too old, too settled. It's exactly opposite of what Ram said, right? Every day I have to do the same thing too. It is too, I'm too old, I can't do it, I can't change anything now. What would you say about timing and taking that leap of faith and taking that step?
Um, See, I believe that there's no perfect moment. Like, we are conditioned to believe that, there's a perfect timeline, a certain age to finish your schooling, a certain age to finish your education, certain age to have a family, all of that. But it, when you break the, okay, you don't have to exactly break the pattern, but then if you want to do something, it's never late. Um, so I'm 35, and I actually started pretty late with reference to my singing career, because I have so many people who I've grown up with who are like really, they're big singers today. uh, so last year, something very, I believe in manifestation. um, so I there's this movie called Sitaram, for which my husband did music, and we expected to win a lot of awards because the music was very rich. And I kept manifesting, and actually it happened this year that I actually won. I won two very prestigious awards, of course not for Sitaramam, but for something that I sang for some other music director. So, yes, trust the process, keep doing what you do, and keep at it. That is the only thing. There is no, you're not, nobody's too old to refuel something that they want to do in life. I think all of that is just too much of conditioning in our head. So try to unlearn and learn. And of course, trends keep happening. Like today, the music industry is not what it was when I was much younger, but I am ready to learn, I am ready to adapt. So when you're ready to adapt and learn new things, I think any challenge is something that you can straightforward face it, and go through with it. So that is my whole perception. It's a perception that there is a timeline. No, there is no timeline. So
Amazingly put it. Amazingly put it. I like to quote one thing from Gita. Especially when people say it is too late, I can't do, I have these many things. All this, what I call the quote unquote rules, right? In Gita, there is a nice context. Uh, Arjuna, I believe, says, Krishna, this is very hard. So Krishna takes a stone and keeps it in front of his eyes, very close by, and says, when you look at it, keep the stone very close by. The entire vision behind it is not seen, and you see this stone alone as the only thing that exists. But if you keep the stone little far away, you could see that the stone is so small compared to the rest of the world. And I used to say this, and one time my husband said, why only you hold the stone? Throw it away, the stone, and you would not have to worry about the stone at all. Stone is part of life. So all of us are having a lot of stones. Just throw the stone and enjoy what it is. Now I'm going to have a excitement with each and every one of you. It's going to be a rapid fire. Whatever that comes to your mind, you would say it. Ram, I'm going to go first with you. Your turn. So don't think too much. Just say it, whatever that comes. Okay?
Sure.
Six, Secret to surviving corporate politics without losing your soul.
Understand your strengths and play to that.
Excellent. One thing you do differently from peers that made the difference.
Consistency and following the process. Never say die. The perseverance that I would put it, that makes the difference.
Strategy for staying motivated during tough corporate phases.
The trust, the faith in Lord, the spirituality, the support system that you have, and more than everything, the self belief that I am good, I am enough. That inner self confidence is really the key to be successful.
Wow. Most valuable lesson from a professional failure.
Every failure comes to teach you something. So listen from the failures, and the event is not important, but you should not do the same failure, same mistake again. So as long as you keep doing different mistakes, your life is still a growth, is how I see every failure as. That it comes to teach you humility, it comes to teach you that you can't be arrogant, you can't think that I have cracked everything, there is something beyond you. So that part is how I see every failure as an opportunity for learning and as an opportunity to reinvent and grow.
If starting your career today, what would you do differently?
That's a good question. What would I do differently? I would not stop learning at all. There were a part in between where I also got into management, and then it got into a very comfort zone, right? Every day you come, you get into the same thing, you are very familiar with the routine. There is nothing new that I was learning for a long period of time, and everything was happy, right? And then I realized, okay, something that we are missing out, and then you put me into a totally different area to start learning from there. And since then, my learning has never stopped. So I would not have missed at least 7 8 years in the middle being stuck in a comfort zone. And continuous learning is one thing that I would tell myself, to a younger self that starts today.
Fantastic. Fantastic wisdom, Ron. Thank you. I move to now Sindhuri. 5 questions, okay? The hardest part, switching from logic-driven IT to emotional-driven music.
Actually, every waking up every day, because in the morning I'm like, what am I doing? What is it? So taking it by the day.
Fantastic. One thing from IT background that surprisingly helped in music.
Networking, good communication. So these two things.
Wow. Your mantra for pushing through rejection and criticism.
Take it lightly, because rejection is part of life, and nobody else has the right to judge you. So don't take it too much to your heart. Just keep moving.
Fantastic. The moment you knew you made the right choice.
The day I resigned.
Okay. 3 words describing winning your recent award.
um, it was a surprise, uh, very, of course, happiness, and also looking forward to learn more, to achieve more.
Awesome. Beautiful insights, Sindhuri. Thank you so much. Now, Brian, you are wrong. Complete this sentence. The biggest myth about entrepreneurship is.
Being unable to do it.
All right. One skill every corporate professional should develop before going solo.
Confidence, self-confidence, self-belief.
Wonderful. Your go-to strategy when facing a business crisis.
Really kind of step back and analyze what that crisis is, understand why it's going wrong, use my risk DNA to really kind of drill down to the issues and go fix it. And also be open and honest with people. This didn't go well for these reasons. This is what we'd like to do next, and this is what we believe will be the right choice now.
Excellent. If you could give your corporate self one piece of advice, what would that?
Put in more than you expect out.
Awesome. Most overrated business advice you have heard.
That's a cracking question. Overrated business advice. Oh, that's I have to think about that one. That's a cracking question.
You heard a lot then.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of I think you just have to bring it back to the simplicity, like the thread, what everyone's talked about, Bam and Sinduri, around the consistency. It's down to the simplistic repeat, repeat, repeat. Be consistent in your execution.
Excellent, excellent insight, Brian. If I summarize whatever all of you said, right? What connects all three of your journey, despite different paths, you have all remained valuable and in demand in your age. If I summarize the universal principle, first, you kind of reframe risk and security. The true security is not about paycheck. It is about your portfolio of skills, like the mutual funds. Your portfolio of skills. Ram mentioned about relationship. Sindri mentioned about adaptability. Brian, you talked about the risk and taking the failure. So all of this. So this is the portfolio of what I have in hand is the true risk and security as against a paycheck, which people think. Then build your own foundation. None of us, none of you started scratch. You all leveraged your experience in a newer way. Even in Sindhuri's case, it's not about singing. She had something very strong, the belief and other things. That is the strength. So we are not ever starting fresh. That is another thing which I would ask all our viewers to do. The third one, important, all of you spoke, is the continuous evaluation is non-negotiable. You don't talk like nothing is standard, nothing is stable, whether it is corporate, entrepreneurial, or creative field, you never stop learning. Like Sindhuri very nicely said, what am I going to do? How could I learn? Especially technology is shaping everybody's life. How we are going to create that value, the differentiation. Fourth is network strategically. Success come through relationship, mentors, sponsors who believe in your potential. So, there is a famous saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets the opportunity. I think all of you kind of, created it. So what would be your one final advice you wanted to give it to all those people who think that they are in greater risk, they are in insecure financially? What would be your final word? We could go with Sindhuri first and then Ram and Brian.
Never lose hope. Believe in yourself and sit and think there everybody has something special in them or something that they can achieve. So it might take some time, but I think it is a process. Just believe in yourself.
Excellent. Ram.
See, there are winners in every field. So what you do is less important, but what is more important is how you do it, how much of yourself you pour into it in doing. You can be a great singer, you can be a great artist, a great sports person, or like me in corporate, you can be very successful in corporate as well. Or like nothing, you can be great entrepreneur like Brian. So there are so many fields. The world has infinite probabilities. So don't get stuck into am I doing the right thing? Ask the different question that am I doing it right? Am I doing it in the best way? That is really more important than what you pick, is how I would say.
Excellent. Brian.
I would say don't be afraid. Put your toes in the water. Come on in because the water is nice and warm. There's lots of
Wow.
opportunity. It's okay. Take the leap. You won't regret it.
Excellent. Excellent. Whether you choose Brian's entrepreneurship leap or Ram's corporate mastery, or Sindhuri's passion pursuit. One theme is common, that is, you have more control over your professional destiny than what you realize. So just the your best years behind you after 40 is not at all wrong. It is very dangerous though. But you have accumulated wisdom, resources, and clarity. And what matters is you are more dynamic than what you think you are. So go for it. I would like to end with one important thing. Like Steve Jobs, my famous quote is, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So start playing your dots today. Small moves, but that would compound to what you wanted to take your life. It's all yours. I just want all our viewers, whoever seen it, if it resonates with you and you think somebody else need this, please do connect with all the lovely panelists here. The description will have that connection. You could connect with them. With that permission, I'm telling, you could have good wisdom from their life story, and keep watching our channel, subscribe to us. Thank you so much. And with that, this has been your Value 40 channel, and I am Lakshmi Rao. Until next time, keep enriching your value and stay in demand. I would like to ask one thing to Sindhuri. Sindhuri, for all of us, can you sing a song, any song that you think you could do? You could sing.
Sure. Do you want it to be Tamil or what
Your
language?
choice. Your choice. It is going to be the global viewers. So anything that you think is going to suit everybody.
Okay. There's a song. Okay, I'll do an English song because a lot of people will also connect with the lyrics. So there's this song by Mandy Moore. It's called Only Hope. So I would like to sing a few lines of that. There's a song that's inside of my soul. It's the one that I've tried to write over and over again. I'm awake in the infinite cold, but you sing to me over and over and over again. So I lay my head back down and I lift my hands and pray to be only yours. I pray to be only yours. I know now you're my only hope. I give you my destiny. I'm giving you all of me. I want your symphony, singing in all that I am. At the top of my lungs, I'm giving it back. So I lay my head back down and I lift my hands and pray to be only yours. I pray to be only yours. I pray to be only yours. I know now you're my only hope.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for the wonderful. You have a magical voice, divinely voice. Thank you so much. And I thank each and every one of you, Brian, Ram, Sindhuri, and all the viewers. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and see you again in our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for the opportunity. See you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Sundari.
You're
I
welcome.
hope it was little overrun and hope it has, but it has come out so well. I could see it myself.
Good.
It's like it's extremely good. So we are going to rock the show with more viewers. So once the thing is ready, I will send it to you. Small reels, we will send it. Afterwards, it will be sent to the audience. Okay. Thank
That's
you so much.
fantastic. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, Vijay.
That's awesome.
Thanks for the opportunity and great talking to all of you today.
Yeah, absolutely super.
Super, when I
Good
was,
learning from each other.
very good learning. I mean, podcast I have been, but one-to-one podcast is different. This is the first time we are trying the podcast in a combined manner. The learning from each of you is very high, and there is a correlation that is coming naturally. All of you are very connecting with strong themes. That's why I was able to give that final conclusion also, that all of you have so much that success secret. I'm sure this podcast is going to have a lot more magical with the people. Like, thank you so much for expressing all your insights. Thank you.
Wonderful.
See you
Thank you.
again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.